We don't just blather on. Some of us need to shut their damn pie holes. That might be me. All right, hey everybody. Hey, we're back. Hey. What's the phrase that pays? Hit pay dirt with K dirt.
Welcome to Sonic Legacy, where we dive into the timeless tales and transformative tunes that have shaped generations.
You're back with Andy, Alan, and Gary at Sonic Legacy. We're wrapping up with our our 10 Island albums. It's been kind of fun. It's been a little stressful for me. I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was a great idea until I started doing it. Then I hated myself.
It's a lot harder than you think.
It is. We're gonna wrap up here with what we have left. Gary and I have 3 that were the same. Alan has 1 that him and I have the same. So we're gonna be just finishing up our list here, and then we're gonna do some honorable mentions because we allowed for that because it was kind of hard to narrow 10. So we said, we'll talk about them.
Just some worth talking about, I think.
Yeah, and then they might be on the next time we do this. So Gary, you have you said you have 1 left. Go,
one
buddy.
left. All right. So my pick, I don't know if anybody will think about this band or not, but I picked this particular one from them, not the one that a lot of people know. There are probably much bigger hits from an album, their first album. This is their 3rd album. And I'll just come right out with it. It's a band called Third Eye Blind.
Oh, wow.
An album called Out of the Vein.
What is it again?
Out of the Vein.
Out of the Vein. Again, I thought I knew you, Gary.
I don't know that you would know anything necessarily from this album, but I think this is a fantastic album. I think Stephen Jenkins, while I kind of quit following him after this album, nothing really spoke to me after this point. And I think he kind of went off into some sort of strange land as far as I'm concerned.
Is he an underrated songwriter?
I just think he's a very poetic writer and very interesting phraseology with some of this, the way he words stuff. And I think if you don't know this album, this is a really good one that you've probably, again, never heard anything off of, but is solid album.
Yeah.
I recommend it for sure. And it's got highs and lows to it. It's got some slower stuff. Now, if I had to pick a favorite song by them, it wouldn't be on this album. It would be on their first album, and there's a real meaningful reason behind the song called "The Background" from their first album.
Okay.
It just speaks to me a lot with Tara. It reminds me a lot of her accident days and stuff like that. But I knew this band would be somewhere in my top 10, 20. And
I did not see that.
The more I listen to, trying to compare the albums, the more I keep coming back to this one. I just think it's 14 songs, so you get a lot.
Gary just wants the quantity.
And I don't think there's a stinker on the album, so I think you should check it out if you don't know it.
I mean, what I know of Third Eye Blind is their hits. You know, Semi-Charmed Kind of Life and Jumper.
Jumper. Most of their first.
I love Jumper. But he's one of those guys, like, I would say I always thought he was like Brian Vander Ark was to the Verve Pipe. Like, is he a guy that we don't realize how talented he is, or is it just he had a couple?
No. I think if you give this album a listen, I think the first album, there's some of the songs like Graduate. I know you know that song.
Oh yeah, I know that song.
You think about that song, you think some of that stuff seems a little bit, I don't know, sophomoric kind of.
Yeah, okay.
Not quite mature enough. And I think by the time they get to this 3rd album, I feel like it's matured enough with the writing, and there's some really cool stuff in it. And poppy, if you like, I know you like pop stuff. I think you would like it. You should give it a listen for sure. This is one of those ones that I'm like, I think a lot of people might be like, why the hell did you pick that one? But if you like the band, I'm sure that this is probably one of your favorite albums from them. So,
okay. Alan, let's jump to you because I'm going to do something when it gets to me.
Okay. All right. So this was tough because, well, one of my 10 was Pearl Jam 10, which we talked about with you, of course. Love that. But this last one here, because this is so hard, because it's like I was trying to represent Elton John or the Stones, because I love them both. Means so much. I listen to them all the time. Um, and a lot of the bands like that, it's like they've got like two or three good songs, but the rest of the albums really aren't as good as you think, you know?
Yeah.
But and this is just one here. We don't have to talk about it a whole lot, but the Rolling Stones Exile on Main Street is such a great record. It's a blues record. It's, I think, their finest work. It's a double album. It's amazing. Again, we don't
What are
kind of
some of
go
the
into it.
tracks off of that?
So Tumbling Dice, Rocks Off, Shine a Light, and it's not a lot of hits that
Okay.
it's not, you can't always get what you want. It's not, you know,
But this is often considered. I mean, I think and I was looking at the Rolling Stones list. It's in like the top 20, I believe, if not
always,
top 10.
always,
And
yeah,
I saw it
always.
on a lot of lists.
Yeah, it is. It is just, if you just like, if you love, and there's something about Mick Jagger and Keith Richards and the blues that, to me, it just, I could sit and listen to it all day background. Again, this, we could have an episode on the Stones that maybe not everyone would want to participate in. It's like, but I love them. I love them.
I feel like I need
And
to
that's,
explore this album because I see it so often talked about as like rumors. It's one of those great albums,
yeah,
and I'm like, I don't know it,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And
me too.
and I
that
feel
happens.
dumb that I don't. I feel
I
bad.
just no, because look at, like I said, there's, like, have we ever listened to? Have you, either one of you, sat and done Carole King's Tapestry front to
Never,
back? No, never.
never.
No, no, but I would hear a few songs. I think my mom used to
Yeah,
listen to Carol.
Well,
I
every
I haven't
women
either.
had it.
Yeah, I haven't either, but I hear it is the good. So
So
sometimes those things really do come, like, you listen to them, and to me, Exile is great because it's a lot of songs that you have not heard over and over by the Stones. So it's not, Satisfaction, where you're
right,
rolling
right.
where you're rolling your eyes, and it's just, like I said, it's just a lesson in blues that it is so
So
good.
that didn't have "Waiting on a Friend" on that one.
It did not.
Hmm.
You've mentioned that one because that's like that's one of the there's songs that I just laugh about that I
It's
because I
very strange.
it's the video that I just remember.
Yeah.
So,
So
Did it,
it's
yeah.
it's it's funny, Alan. When I was mentioning to Teresa when I was doing my homework for this, and she was watching me struggle, and I said, she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "We have to do our 10 Island albums," and she's like, "Oh, that's easy. Carole King, Tapestry." I mean, first thing she said, right? And I was like, "For you, yeah, that makes sense. I'm not gonna sit and listen to Tapestry. I'm not against it. I'm just like, not in a world where there's fucking Bullet Boys. Why would I put that on?" You know? Uh,
I enjoy, the Joni Mitchell Blue, and there's a couple songs off that are really good.
yeah.
I think Rolling Stone tries to be encompassing of all eras of the modern rock era, and so they're trying to, okay, they're gonna put Kendrick Lamar, they're gonna put Joni Mitchell, they're gonna put, and it doesn't mean that it appeal to everyone. But to me, the Stones define rock and roll. You're either Beatles or a Stones person. I would be a Stones person. Um, I just,
and the
just love.
irony of it is I wasn't a fan of either one in the
Yeah,
early days.
yeah, well, no, but and you don't have to be. I think it's cool that people embrace, like you said. I I hear someone else talk about Warrant and the fact that they are fans of them, and I think, oh, I'm not alone, because I remember listening to some of that, going, "Am I wrong? Is this really good songwriting?"
I
Right?
mean,
Because I'm like, this is really good.
I want to check out that album, that Stones record, for sure. There's a lot of stuff that we've talked about that I don't know that well or I've never heard, and I'd like to go back and give it a listen because I'm way, like we talked about before, way more open to that now than I ever was. So,
So Alan,
um,
you so let me jump in here. You just mentioned Warrant, for example, Janie
Yeah.
Lane, and since I'm out of albums because I had three that Gary had, so I've run out of my actual list because I had three: Operation Mindcrime,
I think it worked out to be. No, you're right. It
no,
was three.
Midnight
It was
Madness, and
three.
Warrant's
And
Dog Eat Dog.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so I actually ran out of because I just glommed onto Gary. So we're gonna jump to honorable mentions, but Gary and I had one that we both would have put on. The problem with it is it's not an officially released album. There's only bootleg versions of it out, and um, it's an album that's unofficially called Jabberwocky by Janie Lane. It's a solo project that he'd put out, and you just mentioned, Janie, if you can get your hands on a copy of Jabberwocky, and it's not like it's illegal to find, it's just you have to find somebody that's got a copy and they'll
Or
burn
on
it for you.
YouTube. You can listen to it on YouTube, actually.
As much praise as we gave Janie for Dog Eat Dog, Jabberwocky, this project that he died, it never got mastered and released, which I would beg his family to do. It's probably his best work, and it's just him. He's got a band, but I mean, it's all him. It's all his writing, and it is just. Gary got it. I think you bought like a copy of eBay or something back in the day.
I don't remember, but
All I know is you had a copy. You got a copy from me, and we both were just like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
And so, and I mean, if you like Janie's writing, this is just a superb. Everything about it is just wonderful.
I have the little paragraph of factoid on here.
Go.
If you want me to
Please
read it?
do.
So Jabberwocky was Janie Lane's long-awaited solo album, began in the late 90s as an attempt to break free from the glam metal label of his Warrant days. While it was reportedly completed, label disputes and Lane's perfectionism kept it in limbo. Demos and unfinished tracks eventually leaked online, showcasing a vulnerable and ambitious songwriter evolving far beyond his cherry pie image. The title references the Lewis Carroll poem, mirroring the surreal and complex tone of many of the songs. To fans, Jabberwocky remains a lost masterpiece, a glimpse into the artistic depth that Lane never got to fully share with the world. And what a shame, man, because when we talked about these 10 albums, instantly that album comes to mind and I go, I wish it was an album.
It was on my list.
And God, I wish it was released like with quality, because it is so freaking amazing.
And the sound quality is not that bad. It's just never been mastered, pressed, and sent out.
Yeah, it's not.
You find it online. You can listen. It's listenable. It's not like, oh my God, that's horrible. It's just it's not been mastered. It's not been engineered properly. It's funny because it almost echoes a little bit of Eddie and the Cruisers. Eddie had an album called Season of Hell.
Yeah,
that was his masterpiece and never got released. And that's the whole gist of the movie is people want these lost tapes. So
right.
Good thing we brought it back around me. I like that a lot. It makes me happy. Very happy. Very sweaty balls.
We doing our honorable mentions list?
Yeah. So just a quick urge. And again, Gary and I are working on a long form Janie tribute, and we'll talk way more in depth about Jabberwocky. But I urge you, please, to look it up, find it on YouTube, and listen to it. It's very good stuff by Janie Lane. It's
Search that up in the Googles.
Yeah, use the Google machines. So, Gary, you want to go with your honorable mentions, and you can just rattle them off. And if you need to say a quick sentence about them, you're welcome to. But we'll just rattle them off.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sort of backwards on the way that I have them written down here, because I'd like to mention Kiss. As much as we know Brent would pick all Kiss albums, I had
he would not have Destroyer.
Well, interesting enough, Destroyer is the one that I would pick.
I love it.
Much for the nostalgic reasons. Although Creatures of the Night, anyway.
We differ on Kiss, but yes.
Kiss Destroyer. I almost put that on the list, but I'm like, man, there's some tracks on there that I could the ones I do like from it, I could hum in my head.
Yes.
King's X, Gretchen Goes to Nebraska.
There you go.
Don't know the album, you should check it out. Very good introduction to King's X. Saigon Kick, Water. Great album.
On my list.
Great album.
That's so fucking good.
White Snake, the White Snake 1987 album.
Oh.
Dude.
Big fan of that.
Alan's like, I love this guy.
I just White Snake is so good.
Here's a soundtrack that did not make the cut, but I think it's easily another one that is a really great representation of the film that it's for.
I know where you're going.
John Bon Jovi's Blaze of Glory, the Young Gun 2 soundtrack. Great album. Shaw Blades, Hallucination.
dude.
And I could spin that anytime. Love that album. Here's one that you guys probably don't know, and I don't blame you for not knowing it, but TNT's Intuition, I think, is probably their best album. It's very well rounded. Love the vocals.
Does that have the
Check it.
10,000 Lovers in one?
Does not.
The only song I would know by them because
Yeah.
of you and
Yeah,
someone who shall not be named.
Here's another curveball that I don't think you'd expect. It is a concept album. I think it's a great album. I just couldn't put this one in my top 10, and that's My Chemical Romance's The Black Parade.
Oh my
Oh.
God, that is a fantastic.
I don't know this album,
It's
bud.
a great.
Oh, dude.
Really?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
To three more. Enough's Enough, Strength. Great album. Beatlesque in a way.
Yeah.
You could definitely hear the Beatle influence that Donnie V has. I picked the 1994 album because I think he's got a few of them titled the same. But the 1994 Seal album.
Oh,
Love that album. Front to
nice
back,
surprise
that is a
there.
great album. And then finally, let's go back to the 80s with Bryan Adams' Reckless.
Oh shit.
Dude.
These are all ones that at one point
Oh shit. I forgot.
I want to edge them in, but I just can't. And I love them all, and I just couldn't do it. But those are ones that I had a hard time.
That Bryan Adams album.
I didn't want to not mention those. So those are my honorable mentions.
That was on my list, and I didn't put it on my list.
Bryan Adams. That album was so good.
Yeah.
Sure. We've said it before. Bryan Adams is such a treasure, and if you get to see him live, you should. He's so good. Him and the same Rick Springfield puts on an amazing show. Not that we're talking about that, but just people you'd be surprised that you'd be like, oh wow, I'm actually really having a great time here. Bryan Adams and Rick Springfield. Alan, go with your honorable mentions, buddy. Tell us what you got. But you wanted on there, but you just couldn't find a way to kick something out.
Okay, so guilty pleasure. If we can do guilty pleasure, I've always thought it was Survivor, Vital Signs, front to back. Love that record. Love it.
It's a good album.
Ron Nevison produced that. He did this is something with Ozzy. I think it is so good. It's
I don't
poppy.
know this whole album.
So the terrific thing about that record is just that it came out. They had hit big with Eye of the Tiger, and then the singer lost his voice, and then they get Jimmy Jamison. Usually, when you hear that stuff, when they're going to replace the singer, it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
But it was like Can't Hold Back, High on You, and The Search Is Over. Those are kind of syrupy, but the rest of it's really good. Mickey Thomas does the backing vocals on. You can hear him everywhere on it.
Yeah.
Just a great guilty pleasure. I'm not going to say it's a
great album. No,
but it's just
really liking that album.
That album is so good front to back.
Yeah.
And then Pink Floyd, The Wall, Prince, Purple Rain.
Oh shit!
That almost faded into my list.
That's a greatest hits album, basically.
It is. I don't like.
Shit.
Here's the thing. I don't like Pink Floyd and I don't like Prince. I love those two albums.
Yeah,
and then,
I can't say no to that.
And then just to do one of those things where I'm just like, I'm going to bring this up. Everyone's going to go, Bob Dylan, Blood on the Tracks is I know.
I'm just kidding.
It's his divorce record, but it is heartbreakingly just beautiful. If you don't like Dylan, you're not going to like it. You won't. I'm not going to tell you, but there's a few songs on there that are just so incredible. And then U2 Joshua Tree, which I know is going to roll some eyes, but
that's a again generally accepted a great album from our generation, obviously.
And for fun,
although I like the Octung Baby a little more.
Yeah, I did too. And the one with what's one with Beautiful Day on it? All That You Can't Leave Behind, maybe.
I think
front to back that actually was pretty good. Just don't listen to him in an interview. You just can't listen.
I agree,
and I mean that. I mean that. But what's funny is another one that's kind of a guilty pleasure. The Outfield, Play Deep. I told you that.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. The Outfield was so cool.
It's funny. Outfield I never got big into, and I feel like I missed something there.
Yeah, there's a lot of albums that are really good. Again, I think most of them just 2-3 good songs. The rest is kind of throwaway. But Play Deep was the first one.
Play Deep.
Most and the Hooters. Remember Nervous Night? There was.
Oh, I actually was a fan of the Hooters. I'm not being funny there. I'm a fan of that. They're a really talented band.
You know what I appreciate out of all of this is that I have some new stuff to try to listen to.
Yeah, me too. No, I gotta listen to that Warrant record
for sure.
Yeah, I'd say go to Jabberwocky first. So real
Really?
quick, my honorable mentions, and then we can talk off air. These are ones that I felt obligated to mention. I'm not positive this is why they didn't quite make my cut, but Back in Black by AC/DC. It was such a standard for our generation, and it's
Yeah.
still one of the biggest selling albums of all time, and it's still such a good album if you look at it and listen to it. There's so many great songs on that album, but I don't love it enough that I'm like, you know, I didn't have it. Van Halen's first album, I think, is one of the greatest debut albums of all time. It's if you look at the track listing, that thing is just the world didn't know what was happening when Eddie Van Halen entered the world like that, and that album kicks you in the face and reminds you we're here, we're Van Halen, and there's no turning back at this point.
Yeah.
That also, like Alan, I had 5150 on here as my is didn't make my cut, but boy, I love this album. It makes me smile when it comes on, and we've had a few text conversations about 5150. This one was left next was left off, and this was hard for me, but I did leave it off because I didn't know what to kick off to put this one on there. Get Lucky by Loverboy.
I was gonna say, dude, that was
I This album means so much to me, and it's such a good album. There's not to me. There's not a bad. Well, there's one track I don't care for, but it's called Emotional. But everything else is really good. Um, this one might not surprise you, but make you go, "Huh? I didn't expect that." Abbey Road by the Beatles. It was their last album. It's really something. And I felt, God, the Beatles have got to be represented here, and I don't know how to do it. So Abbey Road, Kiss. Uh, I had to have Kiss, but then I pulled Kiss off my list because do it.
Hall and Oates. Hall and Oates.
I just realized like I just made a bad Hall and Oates pun. Shit. Uh, so with me, Kiss goes two ways. The very first album, their debut album, is chock full of standards. Starter, Cold Gin, 100,000 Years, Nothing to Lose. These songs were played for 50 years in every concert, or for the most part, every concert. So that album is outstanding. But as Gary pointed out, I could probably sing all those songs in my head. So I was like, well, I sure as hell don't need that album. The other Kiss album that I would argue is one of their best albums ever recorded was an album called Revenge. But there was nothing I was willing to replace it with. So I was like, Kiss doesn't make my cut. Because I can't put Revenge on there with songs like Spit and then kick off Warrant's Dog Eat Dog or Midnight Madness, you know what I'm saying? Or Letters.
Yeah.
I just wasn't going to do that. That's not fair. Of course, I mentioned Jabberwocky. I did break the rules slightly here because I was making the rules, and these are honorable mentions, so it doesn't matter. Greatest Hits, The Road Less Traveled by Melissa Etheridge is one of the finest CDs I've ever owned. I didn't realize I could love her music more, and then I got the greatest hits and found songs I didn't know. That was great. A local Cincinnati band that I pushed on people, Nicholas and the Pessimistics. I literally would take this album with me. It's that good to me. And he's a local guy. He lives there in Cincinnati. He plays around. I'm jealous that you guys could probably go see Nick play anywhere, and he would play you these songs, and that hurts me because I love this guy. Gary, I have I have the Bullet Boys on here.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
I joke about them a lot, but I truly love this band, and
Yeah.
I eat a lot of crap about that. But I'm gonna tell you what, and Gary, I know you'll agree. Their first three albums are solid rock and roll albums.
Yeah, I think they're great.
And I'd be hard pressed between this one and Zaza because I love Zaza. It's an album most people have never heard of.
Yeah, it's
That
great.
that is a great album by a great rock band.
Yeah.
Of course, End of the Innocence I took off. Water by Saigon Kick because I agree it's a fucking great album. I have one on here. It's another hits album by Vince Guaraldi. And if you don't know who Vince Guaraldi is, he is the guy, the composer. Yes. His greatest hits is pure joy to listen to. It's all that music from the Peanuts TV shows, and that style of jazz is just wonderful. And the last one I have on here, and this was kind of just personal favorite of mine, and it was a deep cut for me. It would have never made my list, but I want to talk about it. Is Gary? This one that I know you have too. Destination Anywhere
Oh
by
yeah,
John Bon Jovi.
yeah,
A solo album he put out to zero fanfare.
yeah.
But surprisingly a very listenable album by John Bon Jovi.
I think there's like one song on there to me that I'd be like, but the rest of them are fantastic.
That he was just kind of sowing his oats. The band wasn't doing anything, and he wrote an album of really good songs. They have a tone to it. It's all kind of set in this gritty New York streets, and yeah. So
Very good album. Very good album.
that was my quick rundown.
One band I want to mention that I did not pick anything from, and that's because if I had to pick something from them, it'd probably be their essential greatest hits 1 and 2 or something. Because I couldn't pick an album that I thought was solid all the way through. Is Toto?
Oh shoot!
I'm a more recent fan of Toto over the past decade, but I love the band. I just couldn't pick an album from them. I'm like, there's 4 or 5 great songs on every album, but I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't pick the one that I wanted enough. And I think if you had the essential Toto,
right,
thing, that would be the one to get.
That'd be the way to go. Yeah,
I like the Melissa Etheridge thing where you get a lot of freaking great tunes. Anyway,
yeah. Alan and I have had conversations about Etheridge, and I got this CD. Or I bought it off iTunes. I don't even have the CD. I just have it on download. Bought it on a whim because it was like marked down. It was on sale for like $6.99, and it had like enough songs that I knew of Etheridge. But I found a song on there that I didn't know, and then I didn't know that I needed it in my life, and it's become one of my favorite songs of all time, and it's on that CD. And so anyway, if you're a fan of Etheridge, you should definitely get her greatest hits. I mean, we could do this all night. There's so many albums that I think are so good. Are they worth fighting over? I don't know about that, but
yeah.
Speaking of Toto, you could have basically picked any of the 500 albums that Lukather played on.
Yeah.
You could have picked Thriller and got most of Toto.
Yeah.
And got a Michael Jackson album to boot.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Alan, anything you need to add to this conversation? Do you feel satisfied that we got this out of our system? I don't want to do this again.
Alien on your shoulder. Does he have anything to?
Yeah.
He sorry, right there. He's about by my finger off, I think.
Big Al fan.
That
is hilarious. Look at that thing.
E.D. Turn on your hot light.
Oh, for the love of God, that's enough. Listen, everybody. Thank you if you've watched all these episodes and if you've added to the conversation. Thank you immensely from Gary and Alan and I. This is fun for us. End of the day, we're having a goof. It's funny to me that this stupid little idea stressed me out.
I know, that's funny.
I literally was like, I like right now. I actually have heartburn. Because I had to make tough choices here. Screw it, but it's fun, and we're gonna do other stuff like this. We got more stuff coming, so. But we hope you engage and talk to us and tell us give us your 10 if you can, or 20, whatever. You can make your list as long as you want. But we want some conversations and tell us if you agree with any of our topics or tell us where we're wrong. I'm sure our friend Orion's would be nothing but metal and Norwegian death metal and Eat a Fetus Trio. And
I feel like Orion's probably going to look at my list and be like, this guy's a joker.
He's like, he's an idiot and he's nuts. Alan, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. It's funny. I was talking to Orion off topic on this, and he was like, God, that's tough. I was like, it is. It's a tough conversation to have. So anyway, thanks everybody. We're just babbling now. There's no point in me keeping this going. So thank you again, and stay tuned, and we'll have more fun topics coming up.
This has been a Touch of Madness production, brought to you by the creative minds at Tommy Twins Media.